Hi.
Oi, so they give access to their job portal, Geeks for Geeks, for free?
Yes, complimentary with the course.
And you got your job through that?
Me and 15,000 others across the world.
No way!
Oh, yes, Wiz. Don't delay. Enroll now.
Geeks learn.
Hi.
Hi, are you sure this course is just for 2499?
Yes, and you know this is the only course with this expertise across the world.
No way!
Yes, way. Don't delay. Enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, everyone. I suppose I am properly audible and visible to everyone out there. Yeah, hello. Good evening, everyone. I suppose I am properly audible and visible. Hello, Rishit. How are you? Yeah, so those who are joining today, kindly put a +1 in the chat box so that I could get to know your name. And today we are having another session of live mock DSA. So this will be a live mock interview round for our student. His name is Nitish Kumar Yadav. I will very soon add him on the screen. And meanwhile, I would like you all to know about this series, about this live mock interview session. So we plan this session on every Saturday at 10 p.m. And if you are a student and you're preparing for your interviews, what you can do is try to fill up the form in the description, and we will try to set up a mock interview session just similar to this on the next weekend. Okay, so kindly check that out. Yeah. So uh, today we have Mr. Nitish Kumar Yadav with us, and I will be very soon adding him on the on this streaming, and I will be taking his interview. And meanwhile, if you guys, we also have other series that are running parallelly on this channel. We have an SD interview preparation series, and apart from that, we also have dynamic programming series going on. So, in case if you guys would recommend some other type of content that you all want, you can write your recommendations in the chat box as well. And when I will be interviewing Nitish today, what I want you all to do is that you can also try out the question that I am posting here. You can also discuss the approaches in the chat box, and at the same time, you can motivate Nitish as well. Okay, so let's add Nitish to the screen. Yeah, hello Nitish, how are you?
Hello, sir. I'm fine. What about you?
Yeah, yeah. Good evening, Nitish. So Nitish, at presently you are live on our practice channel, and we have quite a lot of audiences watching you. So, are you nervous for this interview since so many people are watching you live?
It's a little bit.
Okay, no worries. No need to be nervous. Everyone, the audiences are also just students like you, and moreover, they will be encouraging you in the process while I'm interviewing you. So just keep your calm and be confident while answering the questions. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So yeah, Nitish. So let me tell you about the rules of this interview. Uh, you will be given a mock. You will be given a doc file, and I will be posting the questions there in the doc file itself. And you have to share your screen, and
Okay.
you have to type out the solutions in the doc file itself. Okay. So I suppose you already have the doc file. So would you please like to share your screen, and then we can proceed ahead. And meanwhile, to the audiences out there, let me introduce myself. My name is Gaurav Kumar Shaw, and I am presently in my pre-final year at IIT Kharagpur, and I'm also a mentor at Geeks4Geeks.
Is the screen is visible, sir?
Yes, your screen is visible. What you can do is try to increase the font size as well while you are typing, so that the audiences can also look what you're typing. Just a little bit will be okay. So I'm putting up the first question very soon. Just give me a minute.
Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah. So I'm pasting it on the doc file. Is that visible to you?
Mm, not yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, so in this question, you are given an array of size n, which contains n integers, and your task is to find the contiguous subarray containing at least one
Yeah.
number, so that the length will be at least one, which has the
Mm,
maximum sum, and you have to return this value. Okay,
okay.
so this is a question. You can start with your approach, and meanwhile, I will be putting up an example as well, so that you understand the answer question
Okay.
very properly.
So what are the constraints?
Constraints would be n is up to 10 to the power 5.
Okay. And any example, sir?
Yes, I am putting out the example. You can start speaking up your approach, what you think is coming to your mind.
Okay. So there is a array given to me, and I have to find the maximum sum, right?
Yes.
Continuous subarray of maximum sum.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, in this, I have to first a minute,
I have
which
also given a small example as well, another example. So,
okay,
first make sure that you understand this example, then you can proceed with your approach.
okay. Mm, so in which I take the first element from the array and add it to the sum. Like we declare a variable of integer that which stores the sum uh, from first element. Then we iterate to the second element and we add it into the sum. If and at the end, when the array is containing the maximum result, then we store it into the variable and display on the screen. Like I have done. Let me write approach that there is a array which have the values like -1, -2, -3, and -4. So in which I iterate uh, I iterate the from for loop from I equals to 0 to
Okay, Nitish, can you tell me
yes,
in the second example what is the contiguous subarray such that the answer is 9?
uh, that first in here first we uh, first we add 1, then we iterate to the second element. The second element is 2. The sum is give 3. Then the third element is 3. We add 3. Then we add -2, and then we add 5. The first 1 plus 2 plus 3 gives 6. 6 minus 2 4. 4 plus 5 equals to 9. Let's give the 9. The maximum sum is 9 after iterating all the elements.
Okay. And
Yes.
let's suppose instead of -2, it would have been -6 in that case. Then what would
Uh,
be your
in,
answer?
in that case, here is -6, right? And here the answer is 5.
Okay, so your answer will be 5. But you see, when you add 3 plus 2 plus 1, that is 6. So that is a longer sum, that is a greater sum.
Yes.
So I think the logic you are going by is somehow
Oh, yes,
somewhere
yes,
like
yes.
that.
Yes, sir, yes. The first 3 is the largest value. This 3 is the largest, so it will return the 6. Right, sir?
Yes, okay. So, what solution do you propose? And do inform your time complexity and space complexity accordingly. Do you have any naive
In
solution in your mind?
uh, I tried the loop once, so the complexity is big of n, right, sir?
Yes, if you iterate the loop once, the complexity will be linear.
Will be
Uh, Meanwhile, I request everyone in the audience to kindly keep the interaction going on. You can try up this version by yourself and put up the approaches here as well, and also give a little bit of motivation to Nitish.
yes. So I have to write the approach. So like we iterate the array from 1 to the size n, and we at every iteration we add the sum of array of I. We check if the um, result, that is sum is larger, then we print the sum value, sum. This one.
If sum is larger, like larger than what?
Like just a second. Uh, we uh, we add all the sums. Uh, Here we declare another like variable, and sum is 0, and the previous sum we declare two values. In first iteration, if we calculate all the values that we have to, in the first iteration we calculate this 1 plus 2 plus 3, minus 2 plus 5. Then the after iterating all the elements, we give we store the value that sum sum as a value that is 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6 minus 2, 4 plus 5, 9. In the case that you have given that in place of minus 2 there is a minus 6, then in first case we add all the values, then the sum is 5. Then we store the sum into the previous sum value, we store the value of sum, and we again calculate the sub array, that another array, that 1 plus 2 plus 3, that the value of the continuous array, sub array is 6, and the value of sum is upgraded to 6. Then here we check if the value of sum is greater than previous sum, then we store the value previous sum is equals to sum, else the previous sum is not update. And that at the end, when all the possible combinations are made, then we print the previous sum, or we return the previous sum.
Okay, you are in the right approach, Nitish, but there is a small case that you are missing. In the question, in the example which I have shown you, there are elements which are
Yes.
negative. Okay, so
Yes.
you have to consider the case when the elements are negative. So you have to keep your approach accordingly. Okay,
Yes. Like in the first.
just do a dry run on on the example that I gave you.
Okay. Like the minimum length of each array is 1. So when we iterate the array, the minimum length of array, that array subarray subarray 1, which contain the value only 1, subarray 2 contain the value 1 comma 2, subarray 3 contain the value 1 comma 2 comma 3, subarray 4 contain the value 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma minus 2, subarray 5 1 2 contain 1 2 comma 3 comma minus 2 comma 5, right? Sum the sum of subarray 1 is 1. So here the value of sum is updated from 0 to 1, and we also initialize the previous sum is equals to sum, that is 1. Okay. Uh, in the subarray 2,
Okay,
then we
Nitish,
calculate the sum.
just make a small correction. Let's say that the negative number instead of minus two, it is minus seven.
And here minus 7.
Just make it minus seven and then do solve the question according to your
Yes.
algorithm.
The output remain, so the result is remain same, that is 6. In the subarray 2, the sum we calculate 1 plus 2, that is 3, and the value of sum is greater than previous sum value. So the previous sum value is updated to sum, that is 3. When we check the third subarray, the sum value is calculated and the value is 6. So here the sum is greater than previous sum value. So the previous sum value is updated to sum, that is 6. In the fourth subarray, the sum is calculated and the sum is 6 minus 7, that is minus 1. So here sum is less than previous sum value. So the previous sum value remains constant, remains
At this step, what will happen to your variable sum?
variable at each time when we iterate the loop. The sum is initialized as a 0, that when
No,
we
I'm
iterate
asking that once your the value of your sum becomes negative one, and so
is
will you just add the next number to negative one? That negative one plus five equal to four.
uh, no,
Like if you
in
add the
this. Okay. No sir, no, that is when I iterate the subarray of length 1, the sum is 1. When we iterate the length of 2, sum is 3. When we iterate the length of 4, I encountered a negative value, and in that case I calculate the sum, that is minus 1. If in that in that case, the sum is greater than the previous sum value, that I have calculated the sum of subarray length 1, 2, and 3. If the subarray of sum of subarray 4 is greater than the previous all the subarrays, then it will update the previous sum value as a largest sum of subarray 4. Otherwise, it will not store that value. It will jump to the next subarray.
Yes, I am understanding that, but see, uh, -1 is definitely less than your previous sum. So
Yes,
the value of your sum is not getting updated. Now I'm asking
yes.
that after what will be your next step? So will you just add +5 to -1?
Plus 5 to minus 1. No, no, no. Yes, 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 yes.
So
In
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 case
the
you're adding
in the
+5 to
in the
-1,
in yes, in
what
the
will
next
happen?
in the next in the next iteration, I will calculate the okay, okay. I got your point, sir. That you have told me that if the sum is less than the previous sum value, then in the next iteration, that I will add this minus 1 plus 5, right?
Will you
When
do that?
when
Means will that give you a right answer?
Yes, 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 it will give the right answer. But here, when when I add minus 1 here plus this 5, the result gives 4, which which sum is less than the previous sum value. So the previous sum value is remains constant again, and previous sum value remains constant, and at the end we display or we return the previous sum value.
Okay, Nitish, just to do one more modification. Instead of keeping the last element as 5, just make it 20.
Uh,
Now tell
20.
me what will be your answer.
Then there is a 20. The When we calculated the uh, sum up to fourth length, when we encountered the fifth element, the sum is minus 1, and we when we encountered the fifth element is 20. So the sum we get minus 1 plus 20, that is 19. So the value of sum is greater than the previous sum. So previous sum value is uh, updated to the sum value, that is 20, that is 19, and we return the previous sum value. Hello, you are not audible, sir.
Yes,
Hello.
Nitish.
Yes,
So,
sir.
according to you, the answer should be 19, right?
Yes,
But since the last element is 20, can I say that the answer should be 20 because 20 is also a subarray, just a single element, and the sum is the highest 20.
yes,
But your algorithm is giving a sum to be 19. That should be incorrect.
yes.
So, what do you think of? What is the problem here? Can anyone in the audience tell me what is Nitish missing here? His approach is correct. Just a small modification in his code will just get him the right answer. Nitish, you can try yourself. I'm asking the audiences for their uh,
Okay,
approach.
sir. So can I say something, sir?
Yes, yes.
So Here we can apply binary search here, sir.
You will apply
That
binary search here, but how will that
yes,
help you?
uh, that binary search. Let me think, sir. Just
Okay, yeah, take
one
your
minute
time.
only. Okay.
Let me give you a small hint. Um,
Okay.
Whenever the moment your sum is becoming negative, so
Yes.
why do you have to add the next number to a negative number? If you add any number to a negative number, that number is in fact decreasing the number, right? So it doesn't make sense to
Yes.
add a negative number. The question is asking you just
Yes.
give me a sum which is the highest. It is not asking that you have to keep the array the longest. Just have to give a sum which is a contiguous array and the sum is highest.
Mm.
So think, what will you do?
So, can we make that which sir that we are keep that we are calculating the sum and the previous sum value storing the previous sum value. We can check the value if the sum value is so we can calculate the sum, and when we encounter the negative value, we can mm, yes, we have to find the continuous subarray. So when we encounter the negative value, we can start the iteration from after the negative value, that our iteration of I become the index of that minus 0, 1, 2,
Like,
3,
you are
4, 5,
already iterating, right? Why will you start your
6,
iteration again?
uh, that so that like we are iterating from for loop, okay, from I equals to 0 to the size and uh, we are adding the in this we are keep storing the sum, that is sum is equals to array of I, okay? And we check the condition if the let me say, uh, we calculate the value, um, that is so if initially we initialize the previous sum, that is here previous sum value is equals to 0, and we add the calculating the sum if the value of value of previous sum is what do you call, less than the current sum, then we can we can update the previous sum. Previous sum is equals to sum, and And we have to initialize the.
Okay, Nitish, let me tell you, like, think in this way. If your sum is becoming negative, that sum is basically adding the next element. Okay. So,
Mhm.
does it make sense to add an element to a negative element? And why will you compare? See, let's say you got -1, and then you add 20,
Yes.
so it becomes 19. So instead of comparing
Mm,
19, why don't you compare 20 itself?
mm,
So, just think for 2 more minutes, then I will let you know your mistake.
okay.
I'm pasting the link of the question on this doc file itself. Okay,
Yes.
so after you right click approach here, just submit the question on the this practice link in order to check whether it is correct or not. Okay,
Okay.
so you can put the code there itself, and let's try to submit, and let's see what error does it give. Then maybe you will be able to understand.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm there to help you out.
So we can move the index from when when we uh, when we continuously adding the positive numbers, we can keep adding all the positive numbers. When we encounter the negative numbers, then we can move the starting and ending index as well as from according to the condition that um like mm, when we encounter just we can initialize the start and end uh, when we calculate the previous sum value or sum when the previous sum value is negative, means smaller than the sum, the previous value is updated to the sum value, and we start the value uh, from the.
There is no need to change the indexes or anything because it will get more and more complicated. Let me tell
Okay,
you.
sir.
So, as soon as you're getting a negative value, what you do, you just re-update the value of sum to again equal to 0.
O-
So, you're resetting the value of sum to equal to 0 because you don't want
okay,
any numbers to get added to a negative number. So when you are just making sum is equal to 0, the next number you get is 20. So now the value of sum will become 20. Now the comparison will be made
mm,
with the number 20 and not with the number 19, which is
o-
why that was our motivation after all. Okay,
okay, sir.
got it? Yeah, so now you can very
Okay,
quickly just submit this problem in the link that I have provided, and then we can move ahead.
okay.
The question link I have pasted in the chat box, in the doc file itself.
Okay, sir.
In the beginning, you will see. Can you see that practice dot geeks for geeks link?
Not yet. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just take the whole link and paste in your browser.
Just a second. Um, sir, can we use the inbuilt functions?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay. Mm, and
Just paste from the doc file that you just wrote.
sir, I have not written any approach, not code here.
Okay, so that just paste this thing, the sum, the previous sum, and or you can just start typing fresh.
Um, Initially, we can add the array of first value.
Okay.
Uh, mm, 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 this, mm, 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 equals to dot max yes, array of
I think, Nitish,
yes
you
sir.
are using math.max, that is Java function. You are coding in C++.
No sir, math.max function is in C++ also sir.
Just write max. Oh, you are trying to write in C++ itself.
Mm, yes sir.
Okay, okay, continue.
And then max mm, yes so equals to dot max of mm, yes
Okay, Nitish, can you please increase your font size a little bit because the audiences are unable to see that your what you're typing.
okay
Maybe
sir.
just increase the magnifying. Yeah, I think this is great.
Then mm, so this so that's it sir.
Okay, try
So
to
I
stop
am
it.
So math.max function is in C++ or in Java because I'm
It is in
confused.
Java. Just use max function. Just write max.
Okay, max.
In this case, your output is coming as 10, but it should come as 9.
Use mm,
Why is this?
sum of variables. Sum of previous value.
Like I told you that you have to check that whether if the value is becoming negative, in that case you will just reset your sum. And in fact, why are you taking sum is equal to max of these two values? Uh, you wanted to just keep on adding the numbers in the variable sum, right?
Yes, sir. So,
So
when at each iteration we find the maximum value. Mm, so
okay, run your loop from since you're taking the initial value of sum to be
okay,
equal
okay,
to the
yes,
error
yes,
of 0.
zero,
Run your
yes,
loop from 1.
one,
Okay, now let's see.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
try
because
to submit.
at the initially I take the value from
Yes, that's good. That's great. Okay,
yes,
yeah. So that's great, Nitish. You have finally solved this problem. So can we have a bit of appreciation from the audience for Nitish? Uh, uh, like it was a good 30 minutes of great struggle, and finally, after a few hints, he's finally able to solve this question. So that is indeed extremely great, Nitish. So let us move to the next
thank you,
question
sir.
then, Nitish. So how are you feeling after solving this question?
uh, Great, sir.
Okay. So let's move to the next question. The question I'm speaking out verbally. Okay, no, no, it's not
Okay,
a very difficult question or a very lengthy. So the question is that you are given an array, and that particular array contains all the number, even number of times, but there is one number which is occurring odd number of times. Okay,
okay.
so how will you find that number?
That is, there is a given array in which multiples numbers are occurring in even times, but only one number which is occurring at an odd time, right? And I have to return the number which is occurring at the odd.
Odd times. I pasted the link. Okay. So let's say in your array, you are given one, two, three, four. One is
So
occurring.
the
Let's say one,
so the
one,
value
two, two.
so the value of the value in the array uh, greater than or equal to zero, or
Ah, yes,
it
yes.
can.
The
Okay,
value of the all the elements are greater than or equal to 0.
okay.
Okay. So
So yeah, yeah.
and the value of n will be up to 10 to the power 5. You can take.
Okay. So basically, we can use two for loops to iterate the all the elements of the array. That the first array is the first for loop is
Okay.
from.
If you are using two for loops, your
Okay,
complexity would be quadratic, I suppose.
yes, big of n square.
Yeah, but the constraint says that you have to do something in linear time complexity.
Okay, mm, let me change. So, mm, we can. Yes, yes. So first we can sort the array. Hello.
Yes, yes, you can speak. I just pasted a link of the question. So after you tell me the idea, you can just write there. Yeah, you
Uh,
can go on.
so we can sort the array. First
Okay.
we sort the array, then we initialize I equals to 0 and uh, while I is less than, and that is the size of the size of the array. That, and we compare if uh, array of I uh, will give the complexity of bigger in square. Mm,
Hello, Rishit.
and
You were asking
yes,
the GFG problem links. I have pasted that in the chat box.
okay.
Nitish, you
So
can continue. This was for one of our
okay.
audience.
So so we can use the uh, bit bits uh, bit operations we can perform. We can use here that
What bit operation you can
uh,
perform?
so XOR.
Okay.
So
You can
XOR
explain
this.
your approach. How will that work?
So, so, mm, so the concept of XOR is means uh, when either one and one gives result 0, or
How is that concept helping you solve this question?
uh, just a second, I will explain. 0 and 0 gives the result 0. If the if
Okay.
the value is different, 1 and 0 will give the result 1 or 1 0. So here in the array we have the numbers like 2 2 is 2 is given here twice, 3 is given here twice, 4 is given here twice, and only 5 is given here once. Then when we apply the XOR, it will first store 2 XOR just a minute, XOR 2. It will give 0. The result is stored. Result is stored 2 XOR 2, that is 0, plus in the next iteration it will add 3. In the fourth iteration it will XOR with 3, then the sum is again become 0. When we encounter 4 twice, the sum is also become 0. When we encounter 5, if the 5 is present here twice, then the XOR of two fives becomes 0, and the third 5 is stored in the result value.
Okay, that's great, Nitish. Can you just type out this approach in the problem link itself?
Sure, sir. Mm, Zero. Yes. We declare XOR int, we can say x, or we can say sum also. Some odd ends, and odd ends equals to uh, odd ends XOR array of uh, total out occurrence. Okay, compile sir.
Yes, I agree. You can compile the problem and you can submit. Seems correct to me. Yeah. So
Submit
Nitish,
sir.
can you tell me any other approach that will be a little bit costly than this, but
Yes sir.
will require any other data structure, making it n log n?
And login. So we can do this solution by using the map functions, which stores which stores the value, does not store the value twice. That is, it only store the value once. That if we want to store one, it will only store one once. If we can add the one again, it will not accept and store that value.
No,
So
that is set.
oh, set, yes sir, set.
You can use
So
maps. Map basically
yes,
stores the frequency.
frequencies. Uh, when we can use maps to store the value, and basically uh, which which gives the occurrence of the number that, and we can store along with the occurrence of that number also. So the occurrence of any number which is storing with the value that is odd, we can return that value only.
Yeah. Okay. You can submit this problem and let's see. Okay. Yeah. So congratulations, you have successfully solved your second problem as well. So
Thank you
I
sir.
would like to request the audience to kindly share some words of appreciation for Nitish for successfully solving both the problems. Okay, so Nitish, so how would you like to share your experience that and tell me how are you feeling about after solving both the problems?
Yes, I'm feeling very great. It was my first um mock interview of this problem solving. At the starting, I struggled, but um, after some time, I managed all the things very well. So I feel very great, and thank you for all for um,
Yeah,
for
so
nice.
from the audiences, you are having a lot of lot of words about appreciation and they're congratulating you.
Yes,
So I'm letting this
yes.
know you. So let us move to the feedback part. So
Okay, sir.
let us see from the audiences. Are there anyone who would like to give feedback about Nitish? And then I would move to my feedback. Yeah, Jagriti is saying well attempt. Rishabh is also saying great.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Nitish, let me give you my feedback. So,
Okay, sir.
the first thing that you need to improve is that your communication abilities. Okay. So, in fact,
Okay, sir.
you were explaining the problems properly, but I felt that there was small lack of communication effort from your end. So,
Yes, sir.
that could be a bit of improve. Second positive point that I would like to tell you about is that your ability to keep on trying the problem. So the first problem, even if you are not able to get the solution, you are trying to keep on trying it with every hint that I was trying to give you. Okay, so that is
Yes,
indeed
sir.
a very great quality, and interviewers do judge upon how well you are trying to solve the problem after taking a hint. Okay,
Yes.
so also I would request you is that whenever you are not confident about your any particular approach, always ask the interviewer for hint. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
because if you're not asking for hint, what will happen? You will just try to think in the wrong direction, and when you are thinking in
Yes,
the
sir.
wrong direction, it will just waste the time of the interview. Okay, because you will definitely not get the answer. So at that point of time, you can just ask the interviewer that I am unable to think a correct approach. Can you help me out with a small hint? Okay. So in
Okay.
most of the cases, the interviewer will definitely give you a hint because in an interview, the interviewer judges you on one criteria that is most important. That if you do not know the solution, how well you can get to the solution after getting a particular hint. Okay, so that is actually one of the judging parameters. So how well you are reaching the optimal answer after getting a hint if you do not know it initially. Okay, so do reach out for hints, and secondly, always whenever you are trying to code, just first tell the approach verbally. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
whatever approach you are trying to tell, whatever approach you're trying to code, first tell verbally, do a dry run, and then ask the interviewer that whether this approach is correct, or are there any test cases that I am missing. So let's say if you are missing any particular test case, in that case, what will happen? The interviewer will give you that particular test case in which you are missing, so as to make you realize your mistake. Okay, because the interviewer also doesn't want the time to get wasted. Okay, so keep these points in mind. And secondly, and lastly, always tell the time and space complexity of whatever approach you are telling.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So initially, when you were doing the XOR problem, you were just going to use for two for loops. But actually, I was not looking for that solution. I was looking for the bit solution
Yes, sir.
because that is the most optimal one. So, in fact, when you are telling, so you can just tell that a suboptimal approach would be to use two loops or to use a hash map.
Yes, sir.
So, but the best approach would be to use the bits. Okay, because
Yes.
using bits was giving you linear complexity and map was giving you login complexity, n login,
Login.
and using two loops
Login.
was quadratic. So in that case, just tell all the approaches that you can take and the respective time complexity, and
Okay,
always
sir.
start from the most of brute force approach. Okay, so start from
Okay.
the quadratic and then tell the optimal one at the very end. Okay, because
Okay.
if you just tell directly the optimal one, the interviewer won't be impressed. He wants you to know that you understand the question very properly, all the approaches,
Yes.
the necessity. Why do we optimize a particular question? Okay, so that is one thing. And apart from that, you need to learn more about advanced topics of data structures and
Yes,
algorithm.
sir.
I only asked from arrays because you conveyed it to me that your strong points is array, but
Yes,
in
sir.
fact, you can just keep on practicing with other topics like dynamic programming, graph, greedy, recursion, backtracking, binary search
Yes, sir.
trees, list, all these topics because these are the important topics from which these days interview questions are being asked.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so that was from my side. Do you have any questions, Nitish?
No, sir.
Okay, then that's great. Yeah. So this is for the audiences. If you're preparing for your interviews and would like to have your interview scheduled with us, you can fill up the form and we will try to have a mock interview scheduled every Saturday at 10 p.m. So, Nitish, so since do you
Yes,
think
sir.
that this mock interview session was useful for you?
Yes, sir. Very much, sir.
Okay, so I would like to request you is that what you can do is try to share this YouTube link amongst your friends and college students, and also
Yes, sir.
encourage them to, in case they would like to have their mock interview scheduled, they can come to us and fill up the form. Apart from that, you can share your experience on social media network sites like LinkedIn or Instagram, tagging Geeks for Geeks.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that you found this really helpful because this will help other students know about this particular initiative that we are taking, and it will
Yes,
also
sir.
help them prepare for their interviews. Okay, Nitish.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this was for today's interview. Okay,
And
Gagandeep is asking who will be there for next Saturday. I think that you will know. We will schedule it after a few days time. Okay, and if you are interested, you can fill up the form definitely. If not next Saturday, after next Saturday, we will keep because we can only interview one student every week. So maybe after some time you will get your chance. So yeah. Okay, so Nitish, if you do not have any questions, this was a really great interview for me as well, and I'm sure the audience has learned a lot from this interview session.
Yes.
And I would like to thank everyone for coming to this interview session. Thank you, Nitish, very much. And I hope that you work really hard and prepare for your upcoming interviews and crack it. Okay, all the best for your future,
Thank you,
Nitish.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Nitish. So, bye bye, everyone. Have a really great night and enjoy your weekend.